Hey everybody, Scott Velasco here, coming to you live from the kiddie pool in the News Journal Center. I wanted to show you the difference between a console and a control surface. So you are used to seeing the console we have in Studio B, and I've walked you around the back of that, and you have seen how there are, for 32 channels, each have 3 XLRs plugged into them. That's a mic in, a line in, and a direct out. In addition to that, they have 2 1/4-inch jacks each. That is the insert send and the insert return. And then in the center section, there's a whole bevy of other cabling going on. So a lot of information coming into and out of that console in the control room. Well, here, this little device that we're using, and I'm going to flip my camera around. This little device is a control surface. And I want to try and demonstrate to you what happens. These channels here correspond to what's going on in the mix window of Pro Tools. So if I put my finger on channel 1 here and start to move it up and down, I want to show you that you will see the corresponding fader in Pro Tools moving up and down as I do this. I can do the same thing with solo buttons, turning the solo on and off. There's solo, there's mute, I don't know if you're seeing this or not, mute, solo, all related to what I'm doing here on the control surface. I can control solo, mute, and pan from the control surface along with fader volume here. These faders are also motorized, so that means if I have automation written in my system, automation simply meaning fader, pan, or other moves, things that change throughout the duration of the song. If I hit play, these faders will track those changes. So, in fact, let's see if I can demonstrate this here. Turn this up a little bit, and I'll turn my speakers on so you can hear some of what's going on. All right, let's see. We should get a count. Yep, there you go. Let's see if we can go to another bank here. There's the bass coming in. You saw that fader move. This last fader is a guitar octave. It should come in soon as well. And you see how those faders are moving independently. That is because of automation that was written into the Pro Tools session. The control surface gives us the ability to have tactile interface with our software, which helps workflow, especially for those of us who learned on the hardware first. It also gives me the ability to move, let's just say I've got 10 fingers. I can control at least 8 faders simultaneously. If I've got my drums under all 8 of my fingers and my thumbs are free, I'm usually pretty quick at dialing up a drum mix, whereas if I'm using the mouse for everything, you are limited to 1 fader move at a time. So, control surfaces do not pass audio. If you look at the back of this, you'll see it's very different than the back of our console. There's just a power cable and an Ethernet cable. And the Ethernet cable is transmitting data. It's not transmitting any audio at all. The only thing this is doing is sending information into and out of Pro Tools to correspond with what's happening in your mix window in Pro Tools. So, that's the difference between a console and a control surface. A console passes and modulates electrical signals that represent audio signals, whereas a control surface simply controls the parameters of the software. Truly, there is nothing that I can do on this control surface that I couldn't also do with a mouse. It might take me longer to do it with a mouse. The control surface just gives me a tactile way to interface with my music. I hope that helps explain the difference between the two. Scott Velasco, fading out.